change. We're going in a completely different direction. I don't know this creator either, Max the Meat Guy, but he uploaded this a couple days ago. I cook every animal's brisket. And if you know anything about me, is that Texas barbecue brisket is like one of the best things ever. So I was so curious because brisket is a particular cut of meat, right? I was very curious. Like, I don't know. I found this very intriguing. So I thought that this would be a fun watch given it's July 4th. And so Americans were like cooking food and stuff. All right. I cooked every animal's brisket. Let's check it out.
From the smallest to the biggest brisket in the world, today we're cooking every exotic brisket.
Oh,
what I
exotic.
have in front of me is the craziest assortment of meat we've ever seen on this channel.
Gasoline mixed with burnt dirt from the yard.
Let's get started. This is a regular beef brisket, the king of barbecue. Once
So
cooked,
true.
it is extremely juicy, the best.
Oh, fuck. That looks so good. Oh my God, that looks so good. I want some brisket now. Oh my God, tell me you guys have had barbecue brisket, Texas brisket. It is the best cut of barbecue ever. Hands down, no competition. Brisket barbecue is the peak. And that looks so fucking good. Oh God, I want brisket now. I want barbecue. For some reason, recently, I've actually been craving barbecue. I haven't had it in a while. Fuck, that looks so good. You know what? I imagine people who get ASMR tingles is like me when I look at really good food. Because like looking at this feels like edging. Like this looks so fucking good. So fucking good. Oh God. Now I want brisket now. Yeah, nothing can top a proper Texas barbecue brisket. I agree. I agree, bud. Chef Dad has been slacking. He hasn't made a brisket in like years. I got words for him now.
Of the best. This will be our North Star as we explore how these exotic briskets compare.
Shit.
Believe it or not, we are starting out with the coyote brisket. At just 0.33 pounds, it is the smallest brisket of the day.
Wow.
It's literally the same size as a can of Coke.
Oh my God.
Crack her open. First time seeing a coyote brisket.
Coyote. Oh no.
That is almost as bad as the hog bladder we cooked recently.
Ew.
Ooh. This is the thinnest piece of meat I think I've ever seen. That's how you know it's fresh. Still got some coyote hair on it. So today we have two of each animal's brisket. The first is a control which will be cooked traditionally like a normal Texas barbecue beef brisket. Seasoning with salt and pepper, smoking low and slow until exactly 175 Fahrenheit internal before wrapping in tin foil, then continuing to cook until 203 Fahrenheit internal or probe tender, then finally letting it rest. These are the exact steps we use to make a traditional brisket, so it's what we're gonna do each time for the control. Now for the non-control briskets,
I think that's smart actually, that he's got two different cuts and he's like using one as a control and cooking it the exact same way as a traditional brisket. I think that's really clever. Don't make it like the meat ain't the only thing dripping. Oh, it's not.
We have something extremely special planned for each, starting off by turning this bad boy into coyote pastrami.
Say what?
And I'll get started on the brine. Historically, when we've tried coyote on this channel, it was excessively gamey, so I'm hoping that soaking in the flavorful brine will neutralize those off flavors. And we'll let this soak for a few days. It has been exactly 2.5 days.
I've actually never made pastrami. I say that like normal people make pastrami. I've never made pastrami. But I also didn't know that that's how you make it. I do know it's brined, but I didn't think about how it's not like cooked and you just brine it. I don't know. It didn't dawn on me, I guess. Meat from carnivorous animals tastes weird and very smelly. You're right. It's about if they're carnivorous or not. That's really, I don't know why I didn't think about that, but yeah.
and it should be done. Gonna be honest, it kind of looks like a weird Frankenstein experiment, but as the video progresses, the briskets will get even crazier until we finally get to a brisket that costs over $2,000.
Whoa.
Nice and dry, and I will say the extremely off-putting smell has been muted, which is a good sign. Do a little bit of trimming here. There's so much silver skin. Almost peel some of it away. And now to give ourselves the best chance of success, I'm actually gonna roll this up. Hopefully it'll keep any of the juices that might be in there sort of within the meat and have it cook more evenly. And I'll just tie it up for good measure. And this here is a pastrami rub. There's no salt in this rub. It's just gonna give it really nice color and some additional flavor. Going real heavy on the seasoning. Any opportunity to cover up that coyote flavor, we're gonna take it. Smallest brisket of the day, meet smallest smoker.
Stop, it's so cute. Stop, it's so cute. Oh my god, look how cute. It's so cute and tiny. That is the most unnecessary, adorable thing I have ever seen. Why is there like a Barbie smoker? That is so fucking cute. I'm obsessed and I want one. That's so cute. Oh my god.
Of the day. I give you the Mini Smokemaster 5000.
That is
in with the
so
charcoal.
cute.
Can't forget about that applewood. In with that beautiful coyote pastrami. And we'll let that smoke.
That is so
and
cute.
just like that, it's been a little over 3.5 hours. Our coyote pastrami is
I cannot get over it that this is an actual working smoker designed for Barbies. This is the cutest thing I've ever seen.
probe tender, and it should be done. I mean, this thing is absolutely tiny, but for reference, this is 100 times smaller than the biggest brisket we'll be cooking today.
Wow.
That is not looking very appetizing. It's almost like a weird looking meat Twinkie. It's looking pretty rough. But we've learned to never judge a book by its cover. With our coyote pastrami resting, it is finally time we slice into that control. And here she is. Gonna be honest, this is a sad looking brisket.
Yeah.
If I'm being real, the color doesn't look bad at all. It almost reminds me of like really juicy beef jerky.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It looks like beef jerky or something.
Pretty flimsy. And let's check out that cross section. Okay guys, so obviously this is way too thin.
Yeah, that looks gross. Like, what makes brisket so good is the marbling of the fat, and this just has like a line through it, and I don't even know if that line is fat. It could be cartilage or something.
But am I crazy for thinking that this still looks pretty juicy for what it is?
It does look juicy.
I mean, that is full of moisture, and if you look really close, there's even a little smoke ring. There's also a little leftover hair. I just feel we're gonna save that one specifically for Kyle. I'll cut him that piece right there, okay?
Oh my god.
Lie down, Kyle, we're filming. You can even see the seam of fat between the point and the flat, just like you find on a beef brisket. Needless to say, that does not pass the bend test. We are completely horizontal. Questionable if this coyote brisket is gonna be good, but what is unquestionably badass is this brand new Dalstrong knife. I want one of you guys to have it, so one subscriber who drops a comment is gonna get chosen, and who knows, you might get lucky. Okay.
Dude, that knife is actually beautiful. That knife is so gorgeous. I guess because it was so thin, I didn't realize that that fat line that ran through is just like a brisket. Like, I mean, it makes sense that it does, but it just didn't look right.
Hey guys, I just thought of a funny challenge. For each of these animals, I want both of you guys to give me your best impression of what they sound like. Whoever gets the most amount of animals right gets a free, all expenses paid trip to Miami Beach.
No way.
On me.
Yeah.
Sophia,
they already live in Miami.
That's pretty good.
Ow, 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 ow. I think it's like kind of like a hyena. It's like, oh, oh.
That's horrible.
Sounds like this. All right, guys, I hope you're hungry. We're gonna start with the control.
This smells terrible.
Oh no. God.
Don't judge a book by its smell. That could kill somebody. That might be dangerous.
Gasoline mixed with burnt dirt from the yard.
It tastes like the bird section of the pet store.
Oh my god, what a description. But if you've been in a pet store, you know exactly what she's talking about. The bird section of a pet store. Oh my God.
Will say what's crazy is it looks like a brisket. You see the flat and you see that fat seam.
If there was a pro, the texture's interesting. It's like tender beef jerky.
Yeah, the texture actually didn't bother me.
Ooh, my mouth is tingling. Are you getting that?
Yeah.
Let's move on to the non-control. Can we agree that it's 17.5 times better than the control?
1,000,000% better, but then once you start chewing it, you actually get the real flavor, and it is just so bad.
I'm never eating this again.
We are starting with an F, and there's no question.
Yeah.
I want someone in the comments to genuinely tell me if they've had good coyote, because people always say, oh, you didn't cook it right, this, that. There is no chance this tastes good in any dish.
Next up, we have lamb at just 0.41 pounds. It is, of course, still significantly smaller than a regular brisket. However, if you look closely, you can see some familiar muscles. I'm not positive, but I believe this is the flat, whereas this section here is the more fatty and rich point. It even has that layer of fat over the top that we're used to seeing with brisket. Like always for the control, we'll get it seasoned up and we'll get it on the smoker. And for our non-control, we have something very unique planned. We're actually gonna attempt to make lamb brisket prosciutto. It's a two-step process that starts by curing in essentially just salt and sugar, getting it completely covered. And into the fridge she goes. And just
carnivore meat can be very lean and gamey, sometimes stank. You can make it work, but why go through it? Yeah, I agree. I also find it really interesting, like, why, I don't know, you would think that an animal that eats meat would be more flavorful than an animal that eats grass. You know what I mean? I don't know why you would think that, but I feel like that's what you would expect. But the animals that eat grass are the better tasting animal. I don't know. It's very interesting.
Just like that, it's been 24 hours. And it should be good to go.
Hi,
I want to
Sean.
cover our buried treasure. Definitely a bit wet to the touch. This is just so thin though, I'm sure that salt has fully penetrated. Now I'm just gonna briefly rinse it off in some water to remove the excess salt. Now I'm just going to, as tightly as possible, roll this up. Really want to avoid any air pockets that could lead to like bacteria growth. And we'll just tie it up to keep it all nice and tight. With it all consolidated into one nice package, I'm hoping it'll dry out evenly. I'll just square up the outside. It's pretty much all fat. As well as these flaps here, I feel like they could be a source of bacteria growth. That looks pretty good. We got it attached to its hook and into the curing chamber.
Wow.
All right, guys, it has been 2.5 extremely long weeks. I think our lamb brisket prosciutto is done. Over the past 2.5 weeks, it's lost about 25% of its weight, which honestly is on the lower end of what it needs to lose to still be edible. So we'll see how this goes. It is now very firm to the touch, but most interesting to me is it looks like it's actually developed some white mold, which should actually be a sign that this worked well. And I am blown away by how this appears to have turned out. Cutting it extremely thin like we would any other cured meat. And before we give it a taste, let's check on that control.
Wait, that lamb brisket prosciutto looked legit. That looked like the kind of prosciutto or salami or something that you'd have on a charcuterie board, didn't it? That was gorgeous. Yuki sees the brisket, maybe. Diets can affect the meat because of the ingested dietary junk. Yeah, I mean, I know because I've looked into it that why grass-fed is tasty, but it's just really interesting because I feel like logically, if you're thinking about it, you would think something that like eats meat would be tastier, you know? I don't know.
It only took 2.5 hours to reach its target temp, but the bark looks good. And slicing into it, the smoke ring is basically as thick as the entire brisket. Take some more slices of the flat, and just like a regular beef brisket, we'll twist the point, slicing it against the grain. It's just wild how the anatomy is the exact same, but like a fraction of the size. Not gonna lie, it actually looks kind of juicy.
It kind of does.
What does lamb sound like?
That was a weak sauce lamb. It's like, that's a sheep.
What's the difference between lamb and a sheep?
I have literally.
This should be a thing.
The meat to bark ratio is really good.
All bark in a bite.
There is a way stronger bark, almost like jerky, but still very tender on the inside. It's unique and I really like it.
I agree. It's very jerky-esque.
Lamb brisket prosciutto. Guys, this is fantastic.
It is a tad bit salty, but honestly, the texture is really great. It reminds me exactly of like a pepperoni or prosciutto, and that fat to meat ratio is great.
When I first saw all that fat, I thought it'd be way too gamey, but it just melts in your mouth.
I mean, I don't like it, but I don't hate it. I think crisped up in a pan, it might be really good actually, kind of like lamby bacon, if you will.
If you like lamb, you'll definitely like these.
That right there is an A.
Wow. Okay, lamb. Okay, lamb. I feel like I need to send this video to Chef Dad and be like, can you make lamb brisket? Thank you. Wild meat taste is always stronger. Old bull and male pigs have this weird... Yeah, for sure. That's what people describe it as gamey, you know? I wish someone would describe me like a good cut of brisket. Juicy, tasty, marbled fat.
And next up, we got beaver brisket.
Beaver?
Just an incredibly gamey smell to it.
That looks
sort of reminds me
awful.
of the coyote, except it's a bit bigger, but still quite thin. My thought is what we're looking at here is basically the whole chest section. There's that extremely thin part on the side. It's a little bit thicker over here, which I assume is more of like the traditional brisket muscle. If you look super close, we even have a little hair on here. We'll be sure to save that for Kyle.
Save what for Kyle?
I don't
We'll
like
season
it.
up the control with salt and pepper. We'll get it on the smoker and move on to our non-control, where we're attempting a beaver brisket sausage. And for this one, we'll need to grind, as well as we'll be needing some hog casings. You guys might remember in a recent video.
Oh my god, what a fucking screen for me to pause on. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. This is disgusting. But the little gif he posted with like a clip of music was a 10 out of 10 millennial.
We used hog bladder to cook chicken. This is a different part of the digestive
Not a fan of that.
tract, the
Not a fan of that.
intestines. Smells a lot less bad than the hog bladder, but it's still pretty rough. It kind of smells like blue cheese. Either way, we
Ew.
gotta let them soak. And we'll grind. Because this beaver is so lean, I am adding a bit of pork fat to the mix. It should not only help with juiciness, but also hopefully help with flavor, because honestly, I have no idea how this beaver meat is gonna taste. I have to say, it does look a lot more appetizing now that it's ground up. Though I will say the grinding process definitely brought out the smell.
Ew.
It's very, very intense. We'll hit it with salt, along with a variety of classic German sausage seasonings like mace, marjoram, garlic, and nutmeg, finishing with some water to help tie those proteins together.
Yeah.
And I give you the Meat Master 5000.
Wow.
This thing has handled a lot of meat in its day, but beaver...
Same. I'm kidding. He's cheating? I don't think it's cheating to add fat to sausage, because you need some level of fat to help bind it. So I don't think that's, I don't think it's cheating adding pork fat for it. You need fat in sausage. So, and the beaver was like too lean. I don't think it's cheating, but I think it will help it a little bit more than something else.
Is a first. We'll load her up and we'll see if we can successfully insert. Oh yeah, get on in there, boy. This is nasty work, but someone's got to do it.
Oh yeah.
And let's...
That was so funny. Oh my god. Oh my god. We don't have that kind of bougie stuff here. Just make tapa with the meat. Oh, yeah. I mean, not everyone can grind their own meat. Not everyone has that. It's more of a bougie thing for sure. Not everyone has stand mixers or like meat grinders. Yeah.
Crank. Oh yeah.
Oh, it's working.
Baby. Yep. Oh yeah, look at that flow. That's a long log of dog. All right, yep, that'll do. We'll tie her up, and I have to say, I am very happy with how it looks. Into some simmering water to help bring it up to temp, followed by a hot and fast sear to get some nice color on it. Whoa!
Whoa!
And just like that, it should be good to go. Nice golden brown color. You can see some of those seeds in there. I mean, if you didn't tell me this was beaver, I think this was a perfect looking sausage. But that doesn't necessarily mean it'll taste as good as it looks.
True.
But of course, we can't forget about our beaver control brisket, and this is what it looks like. Extremely thin, but it actually has a smoke ring. I believe we have the flat on the bottom, that seam of fat between, and a very thin point above. Take some slices of the point just to see what it looks like. But we'll have to see how it tastes. Let's guess what a beaver sounds like. Oh, 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 oh.
Swimming on their back, and they're like.
That's what you think? That's pretty good. An actual beaver sounds like this.
Wow.
Let's start with the control.
Every dog does that from time. Wait, what? Two dogs do? You have a meat grinder. You just make burger patties. Oh, I see. I see.
Oh. Oh.
I feel like I just took a scoop of scum from the bottom of a swamp and shoved it in my mouth.
Pond scum. That's all I get.
Ew.
It's like licking the side of a really dirty fish tank.
All right, well, let's move on to the non-control. I think you guys are gonna love this one. I love it. I don't love it.
Dude, I almost just threw up. I actually think the texture came out pretty good though.
It's a good sausage.
It's horrible. It's so bad.
It's like the textures and then the herbs and then like you get a punch of pond scum.
It's like F minus.
Oh my god.
G.
Sadly, another F. And next
Wow.
up is llama brisket.
Looks are deceiving. You can replace pork fat with vegetable options. Pork fat adds a lot of flavor. Yeah, it does. For sure. Longaniza? Longaniza. Oh! I know of that sausage. That it's like a sausage, isn't it? I've seen it at specific grocery stores. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't have much hope for the beaver. When I saw how the meat looked, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm so curious where he gets, like, where does he get this meat? I don't know. I mean, clearly there's a market somewhere, but how do you get beaver? It doesn't sound like it's good. So ethically, where do you source it? That's crazy to me. They're trying to cook Cusco. Yeah, they're gonna cook Cusco. They're gonna cook Cusco.
Ah, it's so gamey. It's a concentrated grass barn flavor. It's hard to say what on here is the actual brisket. There's clearly many different cuts covered by that thick layer of silver skin on both sides. I believe this is the brisket flat. We have the grain running this way, which changes over to some grain running that way, which I assume is the brisket point, but it is very difficult to tell with the anatomy on this one. We even got a little llama hair on there. That's how you know it's fresh. There's this exorbitantly thick layer of silver skin on this one side.
Wow.
No matter what, if I left this on, it would be insanely chewy. And for our non-control, in the spirit of llamas originating from South America, we're turning them into perhaps the best tasting thing popular from the region, empanadas. With all the silver skin removed,
I
we're
love
left with some
empanadas.
beautiful, clean llama meat. And
Wow.
now let's grind that llama. This llama appears to be incredibly lean, and ground up looks very similar to beef. I learned how to make the greatest empanada of all time from my buddy Al, who's from Argentina, and you basically just cook down the vegetables, seasoning with a variety of flavorful ingredients as you cook, browning up the meat, and continuing to layer on seasonings to try and cover up the questionable llama flavor. I mean, we're adding tons of spices, but I'm telling you, it smells like very intense BO. Okay, with it all cooked through, now we'll let it completely cool. And let's assemble our llama empanadas, otherwise known as lampanadas.
Lampanadas.
Filling to the wrapper, and then sealing with this twist and folding technique.
That's
which leaves us
beautiful.
with this picture perfect looking final product.
Wow.
To do this as authentically as possible, we are of course using lard for our oil, gently adding those lampanadas to fry until we achieve some perfect golden brown perfection. If there's anything that'll make llama taste good, it's gonna be this. So
That's a beautiful empanada. Oh my god. Not the best option. I don't know. We'll see. I like that they decided on empanadas because of like where like there are so many llamas or whatever. There's an empanada restaurant in Houston, like a place that has been around for years and years and years, and they sell empanadas, and holy shit, I haven't been in a long time. Now I want empanadas. You just
honestly,
ate, sorry.
I'm feeling very optimistic. And let's check out our llama control brisket. Honestly, I'm not feeling very good about this one. For one, it has an extremely potent, gamey smell to it. It's also extremely thin, very dry looking. Though I will say it does have a nice, beautiful mahogany color to it.
Yeah?
Let's slice into it. Oh, that does not feel very tender. Oh God, what am I looking at in here? Most of it looks fine, but that center area kind of reminds me of like a rotten, dry-aged steak.
Yeah.
Aside from that, pretty nice looking smoke ring. We got the flat on the bottom, a thin seam of fat, and then a very small point over the top. Something tells me this won't be the juiciest of the day. Definitely does not pass the bend test. Let's see if it's tender. Oh boy. Oh God. But let's see what Kyle and Sophia think. Hey, Sophia, what do you think a llama sounds like?
That's a lamb. Llama. That was just...
An actual llama sounds like this.
Oh, it smells so bad.
I need open minds. Ooh, wow.
Oh.
I think this is worse than the beaver.
Oh my
You're making me
God.
look bad with the freaking mouthwash, brother. Where are you going, Kyle?
Hey guys, sorry, I was washing my hands again.
You know when people clean horse hooves and they take that caked manure out of the bottom of the hoof? That is what I taste.
And then
Oh
you
my
marinate
God.
it in the sludge of a garbage truck.
Let's move on to these beautiful, tasty empanadas.
These actually look good.
They look great.
They look incredible.
It actually just smells like trash.
We're doing everyone take a nice
Oh,
big
no.
bite. Ready?
Wait for it.
Oh, wow. The initial crunch, the texture, the flavor was so amazing, and then it hits you.
I had such high hopes because that first bite, you get the onions, you get the peppers, it's a little juicy, and then it's like, boom, poop.
Like a spoonful of manure from the farm. That's an F.
That's just beyond F.
That is-
Wow.
We might even need to.
That's a Z.
I think I need to take a shower or something.
Oh my God.
Well, we've finally made it to a brisket that I'm actually excited to cook. We got elk. And unlike the
Elk?
previous, we finally have some familiar looking muscles. I can clearly tell that this is the super lean flat, tiny fat cap over the top, and essentially zero marbling in there. But then moving over here, there is a distinct point section. You can definitely see some marbling.
Wow.
We'll get our control brisket
Okay.
all seasoned up, and we'll get it on the smoker. And the recipe for this one actually starts with berries.
Whoa.
Full disclosure, I have never done this before. I have no idea if it's gonna work or taste good, but there's only one way to find out. Just like that, it's been 48 hours. Let's check them out. These berries have maintained their shape, but are completely dehydrated. It's a little bit tart, but that is so good. Almost like
Wow.
candy. And we'll grind them up. Not only will these provide a pop of color, but my thought is that the wild berries will pair well with the wild flavors you find with elk, but we shall see.
Interesting.
Now we'll just add
Okay.
a bunch of the blackberry dust on one side, followed by the raspberry dust on the other.
This
you guys
is
know the drill. Now we'll
interesting.
need a whole bunch of salt. And yes, this brisket is being cooked completely covered in it. Some water gives us that wet snow consistency. We'll
Wow.
lay down the first layer, a few herbs, that brisket, then pile on more of that salt. We want
my
this
God.
completely sealed to hopefully season it well and keep it juicy. And into the oven to cook.
Wow.
The elk is done, and I am dying to see what's going on in here. Now, before we crack into this, you may have noticed that what we're slicing with is not your average knife, which
Yeah,
brings
it's
us to the
beautiful.
sponsor of today's video, Dow Strong. This brisket slicer is cut from a different steel, literally. This is the slicing knife. The Scorpion Hellfire
Whoa.
series from Dow Strong.
Okay, wait, hold on. No ad has ever gotten me like this ad. This is the kind of ad I need to remember and check out for Chef Dad. You know, he's got a birthday coming up. Chef Dad has a birthday coming up in October, and he might need a knife. Okay, it's like a $230 knife. But you know, maybe if my whole family splits it, that'll be fair. I will remember this for later. This one's beautiful though. He pretty much ruined the meat with the fried empanadas. I think the meat ruined the empanadas more than the empanadas ruined the meat, but maybe that's just me.
Out of all their knives, this is actually my favorite. Look how
Wow.
clean these slices are. Zero resistance. Here's what's wild. Dow Strong went so big with this, they even had their own proprietary seal made, Japanese V12 Ultra. That V12 core is wrapped in 69 layers of Japanese steel with a
Wow.
scary sharp edge. Use
It's
the
so
link
pretty.
down below for a 10% discount.
I've never
With
heard of
that,
this.
Let's open her up. Oh my gosh, look how
wanna see.
small this thing got. It's like
Whoa.
paper thin. Am I going crazy, or is this just like not even the same piece of meat? Oh, that doesn't feel very tender. So the truth is, I may have let this cook a little longer than I should have, because it
Yeah.
hit 200 Fahrenheit very quickly, but didn't feel tender at all. So we'll have to see if there's any moisture in there and if it's tender. And let's check on our elk control. To be honest, it kind of looks like the Millennium Falcon. And we'll slice into it. I'm very excited because this one actually looks like a brisket, and it definitely seems juicy. Doesn't feel super tender, but it sort of passes the bend test. We'll see if we can pull it apart. Oh boy. Not as tender as we'd like to see, but let's give it a taste. Okay, Kyle, what do you think an elk sounds like? And an actual elk?
Wow.
At this point, anything has got to be better than the last couple.
This tastes like a Michelin star meal after the crap we were just eating.
It kind of reminds me of the chicken we cooked in hay, like that earthy hay flavor. I get it more so in the point than in the flat.
It has a super deep, almost beefy flavor. It is slightly gamey. The issue is the tenderness.
It's also a little bit dry. I think it's not as fatty as a normal beef brisket.
Yeah.
We'll move on to our salt-baked elk.
Very dry.
It's like pasty.
The flavor's nice though.
Flavor's pretty good. You really get the herbs. I'm getting 0 berries though.
I do think this one's a little bit too salty.
The big issue is that elk is just very lean. It's very small. It'll never break down and get as tender and juicy as a regular beef brisket.
Great is S, inedible is F. I think this is in the middle.
Definitely some room for improvement, but it's getting a C.
Okay.
Next up, it's yak. This one is super crazy because it's clearly way longer than a regular brisket. You can see those long, lean muscle fibers at the flat right here. You can see how there's a decent amount of fat running throughout. And then towards the front, we have the point running the opposite way perpendicular in a very similar way as a normal beef brisket. I have a very hard time believing this will stay juicy, especially this flat section. It is so thin, but we gotta do this right and cook our yak control brisket exactly like we would a normal Texas barbecue brisket. So we'll get it on the smoker. And for the non-control, we got something fun planned. We're turning it into jerky. This meat is extremely tough, very difficult to slice through. I hope this jerky is gonna be tender enough.
You should have. Fun little fact for you, chat. If you need to slice meat really thin, so like in this case, he's slicing it thin to make jerky. But if you need to slice it really thin, like you're gonna do hot pot or something, you can freeze it. Freeze the meat, and then it'll be a lot easier for you to slice thin, and then it'll come to room temperature like that because it'll be thin.
See, is we have a really long flat, seems to be way bigger than a normal beef one, and we also have that point right up here. But you can see how there's a difference in grain structure. Guys, it kind of looks like an octopus. And let's whip up the marinade. So I've actually eaten yak jerky many times.
Really? Oh wait, I'm actually really curious because this is such a tangent. But I used to really enjoy watching, probably no one knows who he is, but Jeffree Star. He has a cosmetic brand called Jeffree Star Cosmetics. And years ago, he moved to Wisconsin? I don't remember. Somewhere up there. And he has a yak farm now. And now he has he sells yak jerky, and he's got restaurants up there that have yak burgers and stuff. So I'm pretty confident that the yak will taste good, even if brisket isn't a good cut for it. But I'm very curious. I've always wanted to try yak, so.
Typically seasoned heavily with Sichuan peppercorns for a kick, but besides that, it's very similar in texture and flavor to beef. Just getting it all mixed up and fully combined. And we'll let this marinate for a few hours.
Now I want jerky.
Well, it's been 24 hours. The yak is smelling incredible. Let's make some jerky. I can tell all that flavor has deeply penetrated.
Yeah.
And on it goes. These are huge pieces of jerky. So
they are.
Kind of snake them on here.
Wow.
It's been 6 hours and our jerky should be done. To be honest, for some reason, this piece of jerky is looking like a seahorse.
It does.
I'd be lying if I said that this is tender.
Oh my God.
Is that how not tender this jerky is? No one makes me bleed my own blood. Nobody. And it's time for the yak control. Has a really nice looking bark to it, but it looks so different than beef. That reddish color to the fat, super unique. Visually, the cross section is definitely reminiscent of a beef brisket.
Yeah.
There's clearly some decent moisture.
Yeah, look at the marbling in that actually. That doesn't look half bad at all. You've tried crocodile? Yeah, I've had alligator. I don't think I've had crocodile though. Yeah.
Content in there. Not gonna lie, this does not seem to be very tender at all.
Yeah.
But there's only one way to know for sure.
The problem is I actually know what they sound like.
Really?
No.
A real yak sounds like this.
Yeah?
Dude,
That wasn't bad.
Like I'm a yak.
It's musky, but it's not terrible.
I've eaten yak before. Kind of like a cow that's having a rough go at life. It's a little bit worse all around, the flavor, the texture, but it's not terrible.
It's really the texture for me. It's almost like chewy, sinewy, gummy. I don't think I ever want to eat yak again.
Oh
You
no.
have to, because this is your yak jerky.
Oh gosh. It actually smells pretty good.
Oh my God.
I don't remember it being this tough. This isn't edible, unfortunately.
I like plastic.
The flavor of this little piece that I got off is fantastic.
It's great flavor.
Wow.
Salty, a little bit sweet.
I just wish I could eat it.
It's like nice to just gnaw on, you know, for the flavor. A little jerky lollipop.
I almost feel it has to be a D.
I'm definitely going D on this one.
Tough start to this video, guys.
Some of the worst taste testing we've ever done.
And we finally have ourselves a familiar animal. Next up, it's pork brisket.
Pork brisket. Okay, okay. You've had squirrel and deer. I've never had squirrel. I've had deer plenty of times though. Let's enjoy pork. Pig brisket.
Interestingly, you can see how this side area almost looks like bacon. This is essentially what's connected to the belly, so that would make sense.
Makes sense.
Then over the top, we have the recognizable fat cap that's on top of the flat. And it was sort of hard to find, but over here, we do have that grain structure we're used to seeing on the point. We'll get it all seasoned up. I'm interested in seeing why pork brisket isn't more popular, and on to the smoker. No idea if this is gonna work, but the goal is to attempt to make pork brisket bacon. Going with a standard bacon brine here with kosher salt, pink curing salt, sugar, black pepper, paprika, and chili powder. From here, we're essentially just covering the brisket with the brine ingredients so they can fully absorb from all sides. And into the fridge for 7 days. It has been 5 full days. Let's see how it looks. Really nice smell to it. You definitely get that black pepper. And as you can see, it has a nice reddish hue from those curing salts. Give it a super brief rinse. Let's get it on the smoker. 4 hours of smoke and it is looking beautiful.
I mean, it
We'll take a
looks
slice
good.
right down the middle. I'll start by taking some bacon slices from the flat. Even though it's only cooked to 155, it actually feels extremely tender. And I know this is technically brisket, but this just looks like great slices of bacon. Now I'll try slicing some of the point. Super deep red cured color. The result are some beautiful pieces of bacon from the flat, as well as from the point. And just like normal, from here we'll get them all seared up. Oh man, the smell is insane.
Wow.
There is nothing like homemade bacon.
Yeah,
You
I
already
mean,
know we had to do it. Let's assemble the perfect pork brisket bacon BLT.
I mean, there's no shot that this is bad. Like, we already know that pork is good. So there's no way this is gonna be bad. Like, no part of pork is bad.
Going heavy on the bacon, season up those tomatoes, and that right there, at least visually,
That looks so
is
good.
perfection. I mean, this is all I ever need to see in a cross section. And now let's check out that control. The bark on this pork brisket reminds me of a perfectly cooked pork butt, but it seems to have a more sliceable texture rather than the pullable texture you find with pulled pork.
Yeah.
There is no question that this looks very tender.
Oink,
Yeah.
Oink, oink, oink. they're like squeaking. Yeah, that's it.
An actual pig sounds like this.
Brother, may I have some oats?
An actual pig sounds like this.
Yeah.
High hopes for this one. I'm so relieved right now.
That's amazing.
It's got the tenderness, it's got the smokiness. It almost reminds me of pulled pork.
Honestly, I like this way more than pulled pork.
Really?
Something about the fat content feels a lot better with this.
For me, it's like equal with pulled pork. This one's great. It has a really nice bark. It's not too thick, so almost every piece has a great crust.
I'm honestly surprised that this isn't sold normally. Like, I've never heard of a pork brisket.
That should be a thing.
I love a BLT.
Wow.
I've had a lot of bacon in my life. Brisket or no brisket, straight up, this is some of the best I've ever had.
Top tier.
That's the best BLT I've ever eaten. The bacon is meaty, but so tender and crispy.
Homemade bacon is always better, but I think as brisket, it's even elevated beyond that. Just a little extra flavor. Texture's also a little bit more meaty.
It is just bacon on steroids.
I mean, the bacon feels like S tier. The regular brisket feels like A. It could be S, but today it's gonna get a very respectable A.
Wow.
This next
Okay. I know. It makes me want to make homemade bacon now. That looked so good. It looked so good.
animal is one that I have yet to make taste good, but maybe we can do it with the brisket. It's camel. And this thing is absolutely...
Camel? Did he say we're eating camel. I'm so intrigued. Wow.
Be massive. It's an extremely complicated grain structure, but I think I figured it out. This right here, I mean, it's gotta be the flat with those long, lean fibers, all sort of moving in this direction, which means flipping it over, I believe this sort of area right here would be the point. It's extremely hard to tell. I mean, the meat looks so different. It's a really crazy dark red. The texture is also like nothing I've ever seen before, but either way, it's time to cook. And we'll get our control completely seasoned up. I have no idea how this thing is gonna smoke given how wide but thin it is.
Yeah.
This one should be interesting, but either way, we'll get it on the smoker. And for the non-control, we're putting a twist on a complicated but super flavorful dish called makluba. And we'll start by just chunking out the camel brisket into roughly equal sized pieces, just like this. I mean, it looks very similar to beef. And from here, we'll give this camel a nice initial sear to start building flavor. Now that we've gotten some nice color, into the pressure cooker. And from here, we'll throw in a variety of Middle Eastern
It looks really good so far.
flavors, spices, and aromatics. These flavors are far out of my everyday comfort zone, but we're putting our faith in the pressure cooker on this one to bring them all together. And just like that, it should be done. Actually smells pretty good. And now we assemble. Full disclosure, this is the first time I'm attempting this dish, but from what I can tell, it's basically an upside down cake where we layer on a whole bunch of vegetables and meat. While traditionally it isn't made with camel, I'm hoping it'll be a good substitute and elevate the protein. Now we'll throw in all of the strained broth and we'll let it finish cooking. And it should be.
I have not heard of this dish before, but it looks so beautiful. And I don't know, it sounds really good. Like, I'm so intrigued. I want to look up maklaba and try making it. It looks incredible and very beautiful. And you can make it vegetarian. It looks like really easy too.
Be done. It smells out of control. Now
I also feel like camel would be gamey for some reason, but I'm not sure why.
it's time for the hard part. First of all, this cutting board is like 1,000 pounds. Second of all, I used the wrong pot because we got the handles and there's a space there.
Oh my
wow,
God.
That's heavy. Woo! See my friend Golden Balance do this a bunch? And time for the moment of truth. What I should see in front of me is a perfectly symmetrical piece of rice that looks all beautiful and not crumpled over. Oh, it's coming.
Almost.
Oh God, no. I think I took too long. There's a reason I don't call myself Max the Makluba guy. Despite the fact that it doesn't look as pretty as it could look, the smells coming off this dish tell me that we might be able to make up for it when it comes to flavor.
It looks like it would
Be
taste
real with
good.
you guys, not sure what's going on with our control.
Whoa.
I mean, this straight up looks like charcoal. But checking out that back area where the skin is, oh, camel skin.
Ooh.
That is not crispy at all. We can slingshot something. Give me something to slingshot. Perfect opportunity to use this baby cucumber. Oh no. I have way too much time on my hands. Extremely odd shape to it, but it's looking surprisingly juicy.
Yeah?
This for sure is tender. I have no idea what a camel sounds like. That's a toughie, Sophia.
Moving on.
Start with the control. Kind of tastes like beef. That is so much better than the first time we had camel on this channel.
The
Wow.
more I chew this, the more disgusting it gets.
I'm not gonna say it's like amazing, but it's not bad.
I love the smoky flavor. There's a little tinge of weirdness, but overall, that is not bad.
I dislike the texture. Very fibrous, a little hard to chew. The flavor is just slightly gamey. I don't hate it. I'm surprised.
Let's move on to this bad boy over here. Whoa.
That's so good.
There's so much flavor in that.
Those spices are incredible.
Wow.
Honestly, I would order that at a restaurant.
100%. There's so many textures.
That dish is a 10 out of 10. I'd prefer it with something like beef or lamb.
I feel like we could have gotten the camel a little more tender. Pressure cooking it a little bit longer, but other than that, I mean, that is a very cohesive dish. Completely covers up the gaminess of the camel. This dish right here is an easy A, but in the grand scheme of a camel's brisket, unfortunately today is gonna be a C. Next up, we got beef, but probably not what you're thinking because this is veal. This one is blowing my mind because it has the exact same anatomy as a normal beef brisket, but the color is completely different. We have the flat section right here.
Wow.
Then we have the point section over here. Absolutely the coolest to me. Check out all the marbling on that point. Even though this is veal and the meat color is extremely pale, you can see how there's still tons of rich fat. It almost reminds me of like Toro tuna. Now,
Yeah, I was thinking that actually. Imagine this is pretty fragrant. Yeah, the spices seemed like it would make it edible. Maybe a little too much liquid. Yeah, I agree. Camel meat needs a lot of spices. I think so too. A lot of spices and a lot of time to make it tender, because it did have quite a lot of like marbling and fat in it. And it seemed like they were okay with the flavor even on its own. It wasn't that bad. Surely this one can't be bad.
Now what I'm gonna do is trim this up exactly like I would a normal beef brisket. Flat is just so much thinner. I'm really worried this is also gonna end up very dry. So I'm just gonna trim off the thinnest parts, just kind of square it up. Maybe not perfect, but we have achieved that nice aerodynamic shape. Time to season. Giving it a nice coating, that salt and pepper, just like we would with a normal beef brisket. And onto the smoker she goes. And believe it or not, we're gonna try cooking our non-control veal brisket like a steak. No. And we've tried this before with regular beef brisket with some success, but honestly, it didn't work out too well. The difference here is that veal is inherently way more tender, so I think it might actually work.
Interesting.
And we'll get it on the grill. Going with the reverse sear method, so starting on the cool side to slowly come up to 125 Fahrenheit internal. From here, shifting it directly onto the hot side of the grill to achieve a nice crusty sear. It's reached 135 Fahrenheit internal, which should be medium rare, using the exact same process we'd use for any other thick cut steak. But honestly, this cross section is kind of weirding me out. It's medium rare, but still very white. Kind of looks like undercooked pork than any kind of beef I've ever seen. Though
I
it clearly
agree.
is packed with moisture and seems at least somewhat tender. Now let's check on the control. Decent looking bark, maybe a little less dark than you'd find with regular beef, and it seems tender. It has this hilariously large smoke ring that kind of looks fake, but overall I will say it appears a lot more appetizing than the medium rare version. The fat has that glossy rendered look to it, and it's slicing through like butter. I am dying to see how this one tastes. What does the baby cow sound like?
Sounds like
You've never had veal, considering there's a bit of a stigma about it being from a calf? Yeah, I mean, I've had veal in the past. Again, I have a chef for a dad. Or at least he used to be a chef. He was a chef until very recent. So I've had veal before. I don't think I've ever ordered it. I don't know if I ever would. If it was given to me at a course, like a chef decides the course, so you don't know what you're getting necessarily. It's like a chef crafted coursed meal, usually like 5, 7, 10 courses, sometimes more. Yeah, like a blind taste test kind of. If it was given to me in that, like I would eat it. But I don't think I would go out of my way to order it. But veal is good, unfortunately. It does taste good. Like I said, I've had it before. If I'm given it, like the animal's already there, I'm not gonna let it go to waste at the very least. But I'm not gonna go out of my way for it because it does feel a little fucked up. But I'm not gonna judge anyone else for eating it. So yeah.
a cow, but just with a little bit of a higher voice.
Yeah, pretty good. And a regular baby cow?
I love it. I think I like this more than regular brisket.
Really?
Oh,
It's
wow.
almost lighter, not as deeply smoky and dense.
It's a bit more delicate. It's almost sweet to me.
Yeah, it's like a super clean pork to me. It's a great change of pace from beef.
I don't necessarily think it's better than regular beef brisket, but it's close.
This one's looking a little bit like medium rare chicken.
Whoa.
Completely different.
That is the juiciest piece of meat I have ever eaten in my life.
Wow.
It reminds me of Wagyu. The fat is a little bit
You know, when he was squeezing it, that's what I was thinking. Like, this looks like Wagyu. Like, it's so fatty and juicy. Like, to an excessive point, you know? 何を言ってる?わかんない?何わかんない?ビール?わかんない?ビールは子牛?牛の子?
sweet and it's juicy.
Extremely flavorful, more tender but the same juiciness and flavor, and this would be an easy 10 out of 10.
What would you rank it?
I think it's an A. I much prefer this over a beef brisket.
I
Wow.
agree.
I thought it was a B, but I can meet you guys at an A. This was very good. And next up, we got bison brisket. See how it has that beautiful deep red color. However, it does look extremely lean, especially that flat section. There's essentially zero fat. However, up on the point, there is quite a bit of exterior fat. It weirdly looks almost yellow, kind of like we've seen with different types of wild game. We got some interesting anatomy. You can see here, there's this flap of meat. This is where the bones typically are. So I'm gonna start by removing this. Just kind of peeling it away, just like so. Leaving us with a normal looking brisket, we have, again, that flat right here with the fattier point over the top. Now, because this is the control brisket, I am gonna trim it up, squaring off that super lean side. It's just crazy how much less fat a bison brisket has over beef that we're used to seeing. Look at the color of that fat. It is just
it's so yellow.
Completely different than beef. We'll hit it with the salt and pepper, making sure to get the sides, and we'll get it on the smoker. Now for the non-control bison, we have something very interesting planned. What we're making is a traditional Native American survival food called pemmican. Pemmican is a traditional indigenous North American food predating European colonization in America, and apparently was a key survival food. Extremely lean beef is required, so what I'm gonna try to do is separate the point from the flat, which is a lot easier said than done. But following the muscle fibers and kind of peel away that upper point section, like so. That took longer than expected, but the flat is completely removed of fat. And now I'll just take some slices. I mean, this stuff is as lean as it gets. And now we'll get our meat on the dehydrator. Feels very weird doing this to completely raw, unseasoned meat. Typically when stuff goes on the dehydrator, it's already been fully marinated and seasoned, but we're going with the traditional method. And we'll let this dehydrate overnight. Okay guys, we actually let this dehydrate for like 2 days at this point. If this isn't bone dry, I don't know what is. With all the moisture removed, we can now blend this up essentially into a powder.
Ooh, wow.
That is meaty. But I think this is the texture we're looking for. From here, we'll finally add a bit of flavor. But from what I can tell, this dish was way more about survival utility over taste. Next, I've heated up some beef tallow. We're just gonna slowly start to incorporate it. The tallow should turn this into a bar-like texture once cooled. It's also adding a ton of calories for extra energy. And into the fridge to cool. We've let it completely harden in the fridge. Let's see what we got. I think it'll actually come right out. Oh yeah, it's like a loaf of brownies. Now we'll just slice up some bars. And we appear to be left with what's basically meat granola. But I'm gonna be honest, texturally, these are exactly like those Nature's Valley bars. They look good, then you open it up and just completely falls apart. Now let's check out the control. Nice dark bark, very similar to what you'll find with a beef brisket. Let's slice it up. Well, it is clearly very juicy, but man, there's something about that fat. It is.
Yeah, the yellow fat is really unappetizing. I know it's fine, but it just does not look good. That yellow, I don't want to eat it.
So yellow, very strange looking, especially when we're used to seeing more clear fat. But that aside, I'm not mad about how this is looking. Doesn't really pass the bend test, but it does pull apart okay.
Wow.
You just copied mine. An actual bison sounds like this.
Wow.
Bison. That tastes more like beef than beef does. It is so beefy.
It's a nice change of taste. I don't like it more than beef. It's good.
It does have a tinge of wildness or gaminess to it, and the texture is much tighter than your regular beef brisket, but it's not bad.
I'm very excited about this one.
Oh, really weird.
So weird, but kind of good.
Has a flavor of very like natural beef jerky.
Initially it's sweet, then it turns savory, then it tastes like beef. It's like very confusing for the taste buds, but as a survival food, it really isn't bad.
Texturally, it really reminds me of shortbread, which is why when I put it in my mouth, I almost want it to be sweet. It smells like bird food or like fish food.
I wouldn't proactively seek it out, but I kind of like it.
How in God's name do we rank this?
Beef or bison?
I think it's a B too. Not as good as beef, but a very solid B. And we have made it to not only the biggest, but also the most expensive brisket of the day.
That looked like, I was gonna say that looked like Wagyu to me. A5, baby.
As you guys can see, we got a problem. This thing is so massive that in Japan, they actually had to slice it in half. So we have this massive 17.5-pound chunk right here, which is the brisket flat, as well as this giant 15-pound point. So here's the thing. Now we could just cook both these two sides separately. But honestly, it feels a little bit lame. Like if we're gonna do this, we have to do it right. So I have an idea. I give you moo glue. We'll start by opening up the point section here.
What the heck?
This thing is looking ridiculous. It's almost like a shark fin or something. Now we'll open up the flat. This cross section is absolutely insane. This is the flat side that's usually
Oh my God. Wow. That's insane.
extremely lean, but as you can see, I mean, that marbling is just ridiculous. It's honestly more fat than meat. And as you can see, that point side is also just insane. If we look on the bottom here, you can see how there's actually bones here. With a standard brisket, this part is completely removed. In order to glue these together, I believe what's required is gonna be a nice flat side for both, so I'll take a slice. Still have yet to use this tuna slicer to actually slice the tuna, but I think this is just as cool. Try not to remove too much of it. Oh yeah, now you can really see the marbling.
Wow.
That is as crazy as it gets. Now I'll see if I can do the same with the point. And now we'll whip out our moo glue, aka transglutaminase. Just like the name suggests, it literally glues meat together. So we'll start on the flat side.
That is such a weirdly specific product. Like, what is the purpose of that? Like, what is it for? I understand here, like, wow, yeah, we can glue these two pieces of meat back together, but like, who actually needs to do that? Like, what is moo glue for? Like, why does this exist? I am so intrigued.
What I'm gonna do is literally just dust the entire face with the moo glue. And we'll do the exact same thing on the point side. Now, there is one key issue with meat glue. They say it is very bad at gluing extremely fatty cuts together. Needless to say, these are two extremely fatty cuts, so we'll see what happens. Okay, that right there is one complete brisket. Now what? Do I just sit here? All right. Okay, all jokes aside, we're gonna try to get this into the fridge, hopefully in this exact position, so it can seal overnight. All right, guys, it has been 30 hours. A wide variety of techniques have been used to try and keep this thing together. We have several supporting rods, a bunch of supporting paper towels, hopefully allowing both sides to stick together.
That's so funny.
This is what we got. It seems to be stuck together, so I'm not gonna push my luck and try separating them, but I am gonna trim it up like I would a normal brisket. There's just this crazy amount of exterior fat, and I really want the seasonings and smoke to actually stick to the meat itself, so I'm cutting away as much of this as possible. Honestly, this appears to be like 50% fat. Okay, we have finally...
Oh my God, look at the difference. Look at that. The difference between fat and like that's insane. Wow. Moo glue would be used primarily for food special effects. Oh, used to bind off cuts into loaves for commercial use. That makes sense. Both of those make sense. Okay, thanks, chat. I love you guys. Thanks for letting me know what's up.
We reached a point where our brisket actually looks like a brisket. This is an ungodly amount of trimming that was required. It's hard to see at this point if both sides are fully stuck together. There definitely is a bit of a seal. We'll only know for sure once it's cooked. And it is finally time to season this bad boy up, but I gotta give a huge shout out to Alpine Butcher. They are the only people on the planet that can source something this crazy. So if you like meat, check them out. And we'll get her on the grill. All right, and we have officially hit 175 internal, and I am pleased to say that the glue seems to be gluing.
Wow.
For reference, take a look at how much fat has rendered out of
my
this thing.
God.
As if this thing needs more fat, we're gonna throw some of that right over the top.
Wow.
Okay, should do it. And now we'll wrap it up. And back on the grill to finish cooking. 17 hours of cooking and a 3-hour rest later,
my
this brisket
God.
is done. And that right there is what I'm talking about when it comes to bark. Super dark and flavorful, and yes, it is still somehow fully glued together. And I mean, this should come as a surprise to no one, but this looks like the brisket of all briskets.
Look at the amount of like fat that is just... It looks like he poured water over it. That is insane he kept that fat. Oh, I'm sure he did. He clearly knows what he's doing. There's no shot that he's wasting like A5 fat. Not that. Yeah, he doesn't seem like the kind of guy to waste that kind of stuff. Wow. I am legitimately blown away. Like, I need to see that again. It literally looks like it's squirting water. Like he poured water on it. That's wild.
It's a surprise to no one, but this looks like the...
And I've had A5. We cooked A5 for Christmas last year. Like, I've had A5, but every time I see it, I'm always blown away by it. I kind of can't believe it. That's crazy.
Brisket of all briskets. Just
wow.
packed with moisture. It's almost like this thing was injected with beef tallow. Let's find out if all this effort was worth it. What does a Wagyu A5 cow sound like?
Sounds like a pretentious normal cow.
Let's hear it.
Meow. That was a really good one. It was like a cow engine.
And an actual Wagyu A5 cow sounds like this.
Yeah, I was like, I think Sophia got it.
We've made it to the most expensive brisket in the entire world. We've come a long way from coyote.
Yeah.
It's good.
Oh my gosh.
That's all I have to say, Kyle. It's good.
You don't need more marbling in a brisket. It's so rich already.
I mean, it is insanely tender. It's ridiculously juicy, but for me, it's slightly lacking the beefy flavor.
The tenderness and juiciness of this compared to a regular brisket is just a level above. I really love this.
But is it 40 times better? Because cost-wise, that's what it is.
It's a little bit too mushy.
You think it's worse than a regular brisket?
Yes, I do.
So how do you rank it?
I would give it a B.
I'd say an A+.
I think if we took price out of it, it's an easy S. Considering how expensive it is, I think we need to meet at an A. Well, we'll find out who won the free all-expenses-paid trip to Miami Beach based on the sound of their animals, because only our editor knows the answer to that. Really hope you guys enjoyed the video, and we'll see you next time.
Wow, that video was so good. I've never watched Max the Meat Guy before, but I want to see more. That was so interesting to me. He has the meats. He has the meats. Wow. I found those are like my kind of videos. Like, I feel like off stream now, when I'm at in the office working next week, I'm gonna be listening to Max the Meat Guy's videos. Because it's the kind of video that I can like listen to passively and work and still like get stuff done. You know what I mean?